Hi, this is Karen Rowland, founder of Hush Providence. Welcome to my new weekly Wellbeing podcast, Real People, Real Conversations, Real Life. We'll be talking about all things relating to the human experience. What makes up a life? What creates joy and happiness? What makes humans the same or different? How do we care for ourselves and each other? We'll even try to answer the 5 W's of well-being: who, what, when, where, and why, and how this all fits together. A little ambitious? Maybe. But join us as we connect with local topic experts, peers, mentors, and healers. Welcome to Hush Providence, a well-being podcast. I'm excited to introduce Pizzi, Associate Manager, Social Media at Hasbro. She's been at Hasbro for 12 years. She's a wife and a mom of 2 littles, Jack 4 and Hazel 2. A little more than a year ago, in March of 2022, Allie hit the pause button. Pausing to get quiet helped me hear what's already there. Taking back her personal power with intention, using creativity to provide clarity and inspiration. Welcome, Allie.
Thank you. Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey?
Yeah. Let's see. So you mentioned March of 22. That was kind of when it all started for me. It was really starting to ramp up to this, like what I recognize now as this transformation period where, I knew I wanted to branch out and overall feel more creative, but I honestly wasn't even sure like what that meant. So at work, I explored different areas of the business. I kind of outside of work started to take the time to just be. And what I mean by that is, I spent time journaling, I meditated, I really asked my intuition for guidance. And when I took that time to listen in, the messages just dropped in. So different ideas came to me. I started going to, more events at Whole You Beauty Studio, which we can talk about. Those were super powerful and insightful. And all of that helped me realize that I do have the power to make pivots and follow the breadcrumbs. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations on recognizing that and then doing something about it.
Yeah.
Now, did you have a transition at work as well? Did you end up sort of having a pivot there?
Yes. So at the same time that I was like pausing, I was also experiencing, this pretty insane level of anxiety that, let's be honest, I probably have always lived with it. But this feeling of like anguish of like, what the heck am I doing? Where do I want to go? How can I be and feel more creative? It really just, it intensified the anxiety to the point where, it was pretty debilitating, like feeling shaky and like sick to my stomach before meetings. Like that had never really happened before, but I was feeling like anything but confident. Whew. So I ended up taking that medical leave to focus on my mental health. And I think it was like the best thing I ever could have done. And then, I also did, I did talk therapy and I still do. I think it's the best thing ever. It's like having a best friend on call. And it's great. But eventually, like I kind of said, like, okay, I need to do a little bit more here. Let's maybe try, anti-anxiety medication. And so I even had anxiety about whether or not to try that, but that's just been life-changing. It took time, but it's been life-changing. So I think just kind of taking that time to recognize all of this was really important. But at the same time, I was also kind of looking at what's new. Like I said, I was exploring new opportunities within the company. And there was a role that I was actually, in the process of interviewing for. So with that, like, I think I took a really big gamble going on leave during the process of this, but it all worked out. They offered me the role while I was on leave, and I was able to come back just fully refreshed and just ready to jump in. And it's really creative and it's really collaborative. And I feel so excited still, like every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for recognizing that and doing something about it, taking the time that you need. And it sounds like the company was very supportive of that and had, allowed some flexibility to you, which was so great.
Very. And I should say, if anyone is listening from the team that I was on while I took the leave, a giant thank you because I know it probably felt very sudden for you, but you're a bunch of rock stars and you kind of like took on the things that I left open. So a big thank you to everybody.
And I'm sure you had the support at home with family and
Yes. Yep. Everyone is like, wow, that is so important to do. And I get a lot of good feedback and, kind of kudos for recognizing and taking that action. Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. We're taping this during, May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So, it's such an important message for everyone. So thank you for sharing that. And we're also coming up to Mother's Day. And I know that you posted recently that you lost your mom about 18 years ago.
Mhm.
But what would you think she would be most proud of?
Oh, ooh, that's a good one. Hmm. I think it's a couple things, really. Like, I think she would be so proud, knowing like how much love that I'm, cultivating within my family and my friends and my extended family, because she was so loving. It was like she gave the best hugs. Just like my kids are like, okay, enough hugs. I feel like she'd be so happy just knowing that that's something that is continuing. And then also, my mom was someone who she didn't even work until my brother, who was the youngest, went off to school. And she decided, I'm going to go to school and like learn how to be, a phlebotomist in the NICU. Like that is just wild to me that, she just started a new career, learned how to do it, and then just did it. Like she set the goal and she reached it. And it was just, I think now as an adult, I think back to that and I'm like, you can just make those decisions and choices and pivot whenever you want. Like you're never stuck where you are. You can always make that change. And so I think she'd be proud knowing that I've done that for myself.
That's awesome. That's such an important lesson and an inspiration to you and to everyone around her.
Yeah.
Let's get into Whole You collaboration, talk about that business and how you got started with them and all the amazing things you're doing with them now.
Yeah. So I actually found out about Whole You Beauty Studio through the person who does my hair. It's just funny, you sit down in the chair and they're like, how's it going? You're like, actually, it's not going well at all. And everything comes out and it's like, okay. So she took that as an opportunity to be like, hey, there's this girl, Jen, that I know. And she's the owner of Whole You Beauty Studio. So I went to her, I did an energy healing session, coaching session, reading, and it was just so powerful. So from there, I feel like that was kind of what started sparking me recognizing this feeling of like needing to do something different. And of course, she knew that through all of our sessions together. But she holds really great events in the studio, as I kind of already mentioned, different meditation events, makeup and meditation events. She does, hair, makeup, there's lashes there, but also this energy healing component, which I think is so unique.
And where are they located?
They're in Providence on the east side. So they are on Angel Street. And it's a really cool, inviting space, very welcoming. But I've also, through going through the events, I've gotten to know Jen and have started doing some behind the scenes work with them as well. And so we're at a year now, as of May of last year, I've been working behind the scenes there.
Not so much behind the scenes, you're actually holding events yourself, right?
Yeah, so I was going to say there's also that behind the scenes, but then also Jen invited me to start holding events at the studio. And that has been really, really, really fun, and kind of stretching myself in my comfort zone a little bit, but just like feeling like this sense of community has been awesome. Yeah, I've done all different kinds of events from like meditation focused on the solar plexus to really kind of like ignite your power. I've done building beauty, which is, we would have a meditation and then set intentions and build flower arrangements that you could then take home. And so I'm actually going to be bringing that back in June, which I'm so excited about. But yeah, I've been doing that. And I also hop on her social channels to do some live videos, just kind of talk about whatever kind of comes through. And that's
so how can people learn a little bit more about the studio and maybe some of the events that you're going to be holding?
Yep. So let's see, I would say on Instagram, you can see Whole You Beauty Studio. You can check them out there. And then on Facebook, that's where all of the event listings will be, but it's talked about on all of those channels. So
They must have a website as well.
there is a website, wholeyoubeautystudio.com. So you'll find that there. And then I will also always be talking about my events on my Instagram, which is Allie Pizzi, ALLYPIZZI.
Now, I can't wait to hear more about what happened to you. Was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago? You went to Kripalu. How was that experience?
Yeah, I can't believe it's already been, I came back a week ago today. I don't even have words to express how amazing it was, but so I went to this program called Alive, and it was really kind of marrying astrology with ancestral healing and embodiment and lots of like somatic work, which was very new to me, but woo, it feels good. It's all about feeling, and it's just amazing. And so that was a nice intimate group of about 20, 25 people. And it was great. It was led by Heidi Rose Robbins, who is an astrologer and poet, and Adriana Rizzolo, who is, a healer through this kind of somatic embodiment.
Just being in that space there is amazing.
Beautiful. I mean, walking down to the lake and going on little hikes, and then there's just yoga all day long. It was great. Amazing food and just all around awesome energy.
That's so great. I'm so glad that you had a chance to do that.
Yes.
Let's just touch on contemporary communications for a bit. I know that you're working on social media for Hasbro, and I know that you're a mom, and I know that everyone's kind of trying to figure out what this space looks like, what makes sense, what are the boundaries. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So being a mom of two little ones, I haven't really stepped into this like area of like, okay, what are our boundaries with them? But I know that, as much craziness as there is out on the internet and social media, I do know that like there are companies like Hasbro who are doing the right thing and are like stewards for creating those environments that are safe and wholesome and do the right thing and comply by all of those laws that do make it a safe place. So it makes me feel good knowing that exists. It's not all bad. And I think I'll cross that bridge when I get there with my kids, but it's nice knowing.
And we're all, it's new technology. It's new. It's all new. So we're kind of all learning as we go, and having content out there that is safe and wholesome, and having companies and corporate citizenship that are doing the right thing is so important. So kudos to all of them over there and to you. A question for you. Who is your joy?
So speaking of those two little kids, I would say my husband, Mark, and my two kids, Jack and Hazel. There's just like, there's no other feeling but joy that I feel when I think about them. Of course, yes, there's love and there's, all that stuff. Sometimes there's frustration, but they are truly my joy. They
awesome.
kind of like, they bring it all. Yeah.
That's great. Well, happy early Mother's Day.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining today and for sharing your story. And it's something that it will resonate, I'm sure, with many, many people. And congratulations on all the work you're doing to get to this place, this beautiful place. Thank you to our listeners for joining us today. And until next time, be well. Thank you. Thanks, Allie.
Bye.
Bye. And now a shout out to our sponsor, the Good Seed Market, 138 Central Avenue, Seekonk, Massachusetts. Started in 1989 by three friends with a goal of creating a neighborhood market offering simple, natural, organic products for a healthy lifestyle. Now a member of the Independent Natural Foods Retailer Association, our friends at the Good Seed are offering our listeners a 10% discount on their first purchase just by mentioning Hush Providence. The Good Seed Market, a place where ideas can grow. Thank you so much for listening to Hush Providence, a well-being podcast. This would not be possible without the incredible help from Jamie Farinella and Stephanie Whitehead on branding and logo concept. John Papa's endless generosity, David Davignon and Austin Lynch for their skilled technical expertise, and of course, our amazing guests and all of you, our listeners. Until next time, be well.